Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Jai Ma. Jai Ma, Sabko Jai Ma. Today's question, let's see. It's a person called Dharamveer Singh 3604. He's my old, subscriber. So I kind of know, that he's there. And he's very regular. And thank you so much for that. Is the use of siddhis completely prohibited for a spiritual aspirant, or are there any exceptions? This is the question. देखो Dharamveer Singh ji, siddhis one always gets when you are in sadhana. Okay, when you do a lot of sadhana, there are a lot of faculties that open up for you. Automatically, it happens, Supposing you're not a singer, you suddenly start singing. You're not a painter, you become an artist. You can paint anything, all kinds of different things. If you don't have a sixth sense, you'll suddenly start getting a sixth sense. Some people are born with six senses, and some people, when you're in sadhana, there are so many things that, just crop up and you wonder, ke ye kaise hua? You can read other people's minds also sometimes, So all these things happen and they are kind of siddhis. But when you are here for a purpose, you are here to know yourself, to come to self-realization, to be a sadhak, to pray to God and find out who you really are. These siddhis are really not important and you should not get involved in them. It's a no-no. The moment you start getting involved in siddhis, you step back. Supposing you have done 10,000 jap, okay? That 10,000 will become 5,000 immediately because you are utilizing those siddhis for something or the other. Like people, utilize those siddhis to cure people also. They say we are healers and we are here to do things like that. So good luck to them. But basically, see what happens is when a person is enlightened, his kalash, his bowl is completely full of water. Kalash jo gada hota hai, it is absolutely full till the brim. And in its overflow, people get cured. If you just go near them, their aura, their vicinity is good enough to help you progress in life, progress spiritually, or if you're ill or something, you automatically get healed, They're not using anything on you. They're not utilizing their siddhis or anything on you. But because of them being so enlightened, their aura itself helps you. That is a different thing altogether. Now, when sometimes, these healers say that we'll come and heal you, unka ghada bhara nahi hai. You see, the bowl is still not even half full, maybe 1/4, And what they do is extract that energy from that 1/4 bowl that they have of water, of energy, and try to cure the other person, okay? Temporarily, people do get cured and they are very happy and they suddenly feel very elevated that, we could help people, by healing them or whatever. But that is not a long-term process at all. Those people who are temporarily healed, all the problems will come back again. But the worst thing is that the person who has done that healing gets harmed. Now, supposing somebody is very ill and he's tried to cure them. Temporarily, it's okay, but those very diseases come back to him and he's not able to protect himself. I have lots of examples of this, So siddhis are never to be utilized. And if you're saying, is it prohibited? Yes, it is prohibited when you're on the path of sadhana. When you're here to progress yourself, then no, it's a no. Siddhis, there are different kinds of things that people are here for. Some people are here only to attain name, fame, power, things like that. So there are different kinds of prayers, different kinds of vidhis, rituals that they do. Some people who are absolutely on the wrong track, tamsik jo vritti hoti hai, they indulge themselves in rituals which are called 5 M's. What is 5 M's? Mithun, Matsya, Mas, all the things that one is not supposed to do. Sex basically, then eating non-vegetarian food, then having alcohol, going to brothels, things like that. These are the things they utilize in order to gain siddhis. And there is a whole big ritual that they do, with skulls and things like that. You must have heard of all this. So, they actually perform those rituals to gain these powers to rule people, because they want to be very popular, they want name, fame, all that. So they are very attracted to those kind of things. So they are not here for their own progress at all. They think this is the thing that they need to do. And people worship them because they think that, oh, he can create magic, and he, can do so many miracles, and he can cure us, and he can do this and that, and etc. But those are not the things we are here for. So there are two kinds of different things that people do. One is totally on the track of sadhana, where you're not bifurcating. You're not thinking of anything else except your own progress. And these siddhis, when they come automatically to you, you just ignore them. So yes, on the spiritual path, you're not supposed to do things like that, I can give you my own example. I was not aware of it at all. I think I've spoken about everything, in the past, but I'm just repeating everything. Now, this was the time, I think, in the 90s, okay? Those days I was praying to Shirdi Sai Baba, okay? Ma was very much in my life, but like I said, a photograph always used to be in my room, but I never thought about her as much as I thought about Shirdi Sai Baba. So I used to go to Shirdi and all that and pray and do all that, and then I used to light agarbattis in the house. Agarbatti ki jo ash nikalti hai na, udi jo isko bolte hain. So there was a bowl full of udi. And those days I was running my classes, like I mentioned earlier also in one of my videos. I was running classes called Color Me Beautiful. So there was this student who came, and her face was full of pimples and everything. So I told her, I'm sorry, but I can't work on you because your face is in a mess. And these are the things you need to do. So go and clean yourself up and do these, all the different lotions and whatever I gave her. So she said, no, that is fine. I will do that. But you are such a great devotee of Shirdi Sai Baba, and you've collected so much udi, the ash, in your bowl. So why don't you give me some of that ash and tell me what to do, and I'll do exactly what you tell me, and I will be cured, and I know about that. I said, don't talk rubbish, I don't know any of this, and I don't even know what you're talking about. This udi is just there, I don't know any of this that you're talking about. It went on. To cut it short, she insisted that I should give it to her. So out of frustration, I said, okay, you take this udi. I gave it to her in a packet. And she said, what do I say? I don't know what I said, but I just gave her something to say. Ye bolna, chalo jao. I was too busy those days to even think about anything. Now, what used to happen is these students used to come once a week. Their turn was once. And now, supposing she came on a Monday, her next turn would be the next Monday, because I had all these other students during the day. So everybody's turn was like that. So she comes next Monday, she comes over, and I had forgotten, what she looked like or whatever, and that her face was so bad. I had forgotten all that because I had so many students, So it was difficult to remember. From 9 to 6, I used to work every day. So she comes on Monday and she looks at me, stands in front of me and looks at me and smiles away and smiles away. And I said, what's wrong with you? So she said, don't you remember my face was so bad and you gave me this udi? I said, no. Her face was absolutely clean. There was not a single mark also. And she said, I did exactly what you told me to do, and see my face. I couldn't believe it. I thought she was just joking, I said, no, I don't believe all this. She said, yes, this is true. Do you remember my face? I said, yes, I do remember. But you must have done something else. And she said, no, this is all I did. After that, believe it or not, this word spread around, that I could heal people or I could do all these different things. I had a line, outside my house where people would come. Now, we've got asthma problem, we've got bone problem, we've got blood pressure problem, we've got this problem, that problem, whatever. We've got white hair problem. I said, please excuse me, but I don't do any of this. But it just went on and on and on. And I was just giving udi to everybody. I said, okay, whatever your problem is, you take this udi and go. And they were getting cured. all of them. It was helping them a lot. Now, I didn't realize that this was also a part of Siddhi. And those days I wasn't praying or doing anything, okay? I wasn't into jap dhyan, nothing, okay? It was happening. This is all Ma's daya, nothing else, which, like I keep saying, that we may not be aware of her, but she's very much aware of us. She knows us very well, So then comes a time when I first met Bhaskaranji after so many years, Swami Bhaskaranji Maharaj. And I told him this. He said, stop it immediately. I said, oh my God. So he said this, do you know how harmful this is? You will go 100 steps backwards and you will never be cured after that. You'll never be normal. So please stop it immediately. And that was the time I stopped it immediately. And no way. I said, no way. Once you understand something, then you obviously want to do the right thing. So in spirituality, no way. Don't, you try to even think of siddhis. You said use of siddhis completely prohibited. Yes. For a spiritual aspirant, or are there any exceptions? There are no exceptions. Like I said, the exception is when you're enlightened and when you are overflowing. You're not making an effort to do anything. Just your aura will cure people. Your aura will make them progress, So that is a different thing. बहुत बड़े-बड़े संत के पास जाते हैं. You just stand with them. You've gone in a very bad mood and suddenly you stand in front of them and you feel so elevated. Why? They're not doing anything. It's just their presence, their aura that does everything for you. That is different. They're not utilizing anything. Okay. So that's all for now. And thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Jai Ma.